want to welcome the Minister to the House, and also to echo his call that this is a welcome opportunity for Senators to take part in this debate here today, and to appeal to the Minister to also support a recall of the Dáil, because if it's a welcome opportunity for the Senate, the welcome opportunity should also be given to the Dáil as well, and all Oireachtas members should have an opportunity to have their say on what is an appalling human catastrophe which is happening in Gaza at the moment. I can understand fully, Minister, why some people want to achieve what they see as balance and proportionality in relation to this issue. But this isn't about balance or proportionality. It's about the truth, it's about facts, it's about reality, and it's about what's happening in Gaza at the moment. And since the 8th of July of this year, 1,300 people, Palestinian people, have been slaughtered by the Israeli state and by the Israeli military. The vast majority of those have been innocent civilians, men, women and children. 22,000 homes have been crushed. We had 130 schools attacked. We had 6 hospitals attacked. We had UN shelters attacked. On Monday of this week, we had 100 innocent civilians killed, whole families wiped out. Yesterday, we had the targeting, deliberately in my view, of a shelter where 17 people were killed, despite the fact that the coordinates of that shelter were known to the Israeli Defence Forces, but they still decided to bomb that shelter, despite the fact that 3,000 people who were forced to flee their homes by those same military officers were then bombed in an indiscriminate way, and those people lost their lives. That's the reality of the catastrophe and the human suffering which is happening in Gaza at the moment. This is not a war, it is a massacre. It is a massacre coming from the State of Israel and the Israeli forces. We've had a humanitarian crisis in Gaza long before what has been happening over the last number of weeks since the 8th of July. We have 1.8 million citizens of Gaza in a tiny strip of land, 10 kilometres by 40 kilometres, hemmed in, without basic supplies, without basic shelter, basic accommodation, without proper food, without proper medical supplies. We have a wall which is being built which keeps them out and prevents people from coming in and out. We have an illegal blockade and an illegal siege on Gaza. We have the humiliation and the torture and the oppression of 1.8 million citizens who live in Gaza. It is a living hell, and it is the biggest open-air prison in the world. That's what Gaza is, and that's the conditions which the people of Gaza have been living in. So we've had this humanitarian crisis long before the 8th of July, and we will have it for the next 5 years, 10 years or 20 years, unless the Israelis change their policy, unless they accept the real peace process, and a peace process with justice. And a peace process with justice has to mean justice for the Palestinian people. What's happened over the last number of weeks, and all of those innocent people which have been killed by the State of Israel, is in my view not about Hamas at all. It is not about rockets. It is not about tunnels. It's about the continued occupation of the Palestinian territories. It's about the continued oppression of the Palestinian people and the people of Gaza. It's about a form of collective punishment on the people of Gaza for the way they voted in an election. And it's also because this current Israeli government wants to break the unity government in Palestine. That's what this slaughter is about. That's what these killings are about. It is not about Israel defending themselves. We all accept any state has a right to defend itself. But this is about the Israeli state slaughtering innocent people in Gaza because they feel they can. And what was your response, Minister? In the face of all of that, in the face of that human suffering, what was your response and this state's response in relation to the Human Rights Council of the United Nations? You shamefully and cowardly abstained in that vote, and you hide behind the fact that it didn't condemn the killings on all sides. It did. And you hide behind the fact that you wanted a collective European Union response. What's the point in having a Minister for Foreign Affairs or a Department for Foreign Affairs in this state if we can't act independently? If we can't make up our own minds and stand on our own 2 feet? You have a responsibility And you had a responsibility then to represent the views of the Irish people and Irish citizens, and you failed to do so. And that is shameful, and that is for you to answer. But if I can finish on this, Acker, what you need to do is to support an unconditional ceasefire, humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. You need to make sure that there is a proper peace process. The unity government in Palestine has called for Gaza to be declared a disaster zone. That's something that we should be forcing the United Nations to agree. And we should be supporting a peace process with respect that is about justice. And you know that there will be no justice and there will be no peace process or peace unless there is justice for the Palestinian people. Thank you.